Hi, I'm Mark Anthony, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about releasing weight and share the 3 key things that will help you release the weight and allow yourself to attain your ideal weight. So many people have challenges when it comes to achieving their ideal weight. So you may be exercising all the time, you may be doing everything that you need to do and feel like it, even though you're eating the right foods, it just doesn't change, your weight situation doesn't improve. So there are 3 really key areas, and the first one is boundary issues. So generally what happens is unconsciously we can put on weight to keep us safe. So from a safety perspective, what we're actually doing is we're holding on to this weight because it's a form of protection. We're all empathic, we're all intuitive people, we feel other people's energies. And so what happens is, in order to protect ourselves, we unconsciously put this extra weight on. So it allows us to have like a barrier of protection. And we feel like, we have, more weight, and so we're more protected. So that's one of the key things that will actually make people put on weight. And it's a protection because they don't know the difference between their thoughts, feelings, and emotions and other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And often they can just take on the other people's emotions. And you see this a lot with healers as well, because they're working with a lot of people and they're constantly being bombarded by these other people's beliefs. And not only that, a lot of healers are coming from such a pure space where they genuinely, are looking to help people. And what happens is they're unconsciously taking on their beliefs so that they can actually heal their clients. And so it's really important to understand that you can have boundaries with people. You can have healthy boundaries where you can actually work with people, where you can do the right thing by those people, but you can do it without actually impacting your own body, without actually physically affecting yourself. And that's a really important thing. So having strong boundaries is really important, especially when you're working with people. But even if you're not working with people, if you're spiritual, if you're open to your intuition, you'll be aware that, oftentimes you get negatively impacted by other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. You walk into a room and all of a sudden you've taken on other people's energies. All of a sudden you're angry and you don't know why you're angry, because 5 minutes ago you felt really good. And that's because we're empathic, we're taking on other people's energies. And so unconsciously we can put on weight to protect us from that sort of thing. The second thing that's really important to understand about weight is oftentimes, especially growing up, it was almost like it was bad to be beautiful, or it was wrong to be beautiful. It was wrong for us to attract the, attention from, the opposite sex, or, from people that may admire us, in a romantic way. So oftentimes what would happen is we'd be brought up in this mindset of thinking that it's wrong for us to be too attractive, or it's wrong for us to look and feel too good. And all of a sudden what we do is we start putting on this weight, and it affects the way we feel about ourselves. And so what happens, it's almost like we're not allowed to look our best, or not allowed to feel our best. And that's really a common thing for a lot of people. And especially if you look at past generations, there was this huge consciousness around, like if a woman was too beautiful, for example, then, she'd attract the wrong attention towards herself. And it was almost like it was that they were made to feel like, they were creating that negative experience in the other people, and they were drawing that attention to themselves. It's almost like they were asking for it if they look too good. And that's a real stress for a lot of people unconsciously. And, even a lot of people on a conscious level were told when they were children, it's wrong for you to look too beautiful, or it's wrong for you to look too good. And that was really common for a lot of people. And so what happens is unconsciously we take on those belief systems. So all of a sudden now you may be in a relationship and you're really happy in your relationship, and you don't want to be attracting interest from other people that may be interested in you in a romantic way. And so what happens is we start putting on weight so that we keep ourselves protected from that energy. So we're not going to get ourselves into a negative situation. it is a massive group consciousness. And one of the important things that we'll do in the downloads video is actually disconnecting you from that group consciousness. The third thing, which is really important, this is one that, maybe surprise you, but here's the thing. A lot of people eat the right foods. They're eating good foods. They're minimizing what they're eating. They're exercising. They're doing everything that they need to, everything that everybody says are the right things for you to do to release weight. But nothing happens. All of a sudden, they feel like they just, doesn't matter what they do, they just can't release this weight, or they feel like their weight just keeps coming on, or often it can just sort of fluctuate. For a lot of people, what happens is we start exercising. And when you start exercising, like a lot of the times we think, okay, well, the best way to exercise is to go to the gym or go to some aerobics class or, go to a boot camp or something like that. And what happens is we get in there and we're gung-ho about this exercising regime. And all of a sudden, our muscles are really sore after we exercise. And so what can happen is we can actually lock tension up in our muscles. So if the muscles start getting locked up, then what happens is those muscles are not getting the blood flow going through those muscles. So what happens is if the muscle in your leg is locked up, then what happens is the other leg starts to compensate for the first leg that got injured. And so all of a sudden, after a while, we started off, maybe we would bump our right leg on, the corner of a table or something. So there was a little bit of a cork. And so what happens is the left leg starts overcompensating for the right leg. And all of a sudden, after a little while, we forget about that cork and that's completely disappeared. But all of a sudden, we got like all these pains in our left leg. And so we go get massages, we go get things done, and it doesn't seem to improve. So what happens is the real issue started somewhere else. Then the body starts to overcompensate. And what happens is your muscles fatigue. So if a muscle is being used, so the muscles in the left leg are being used in a way that they're not meant to be because they're overcompensating for the energy that's locked up in the right leg. And so what happens is they fatigue and those muscles lock up. So all of a sudden now we've got like our muscles are locked up and they're not able to function the way they're meant to. The blood supply is not getting through there as well as it should be. So all of a sudden now we're exercising, we're doing everything that we can to release the weight, but our muscles aren't actually working properly. And if your muscles aren't actually working properly, then you're not going to be able to release that weight. And that's one of the key things that stops people from releasing the weight that they desire, but it's also one of the things that people don't or aren't aware of that can actually impact your ability to release weight. Because as long as those muscles are locked up, the exercising that you're doing is not really going to benefit you because what's happening is those muscles are all locked up. They're not able to burn off the fat the way they're meant to be because those muscles aren't being activated the way they should be. And so all of a sudden your ability to release that weight is diminished. And it creates a major stress because you're putting so much effort into it, you're putting so much time into it, and you're not getting the results. And that's where it gets really frustrating. So they're the three key things that will actually help you. So if you change your beliefs around your protection, like say your boundary issues, being safe and protected from other people's energies, if you release any beliefs that you've got around like, it being wrong for you to be beautiful, and also working on the muscles, and the muscles are all about strength. So in the next video, I'll actually give you downloads in relation to these. So if you like this video, like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel and share it with people that you can think can benefit from it. So thank you for your time and I look forward to seeing you all soon.